everybody, it's Tessie and Charles, and we're back for episode 4 of Love and Law. So, if you guys like what we're talking about, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Click the notification button so you don't miss the episodes when they come out every Thursday at 12 o'clock. And today's episode, we're going to be talking about
the fear of starting over.
Okay. So, I guess, again, as I always say, I guess we'll get right into it. Some of the times, people go through a lot of different things in life. And with us, as owners of a family law firm and criminal defense firm here in Atlanta, we deal with a lot of clients who are starting over after very serious situations have occurred in their life, whether it be a divorce or legitimation after a breakup, or even if you stay together, even criminal cases. But also in our personal lives, we have had to start over a great deal.
Yeah. Some of the times we've had to start over from moving to another state, moving to a new house, just the way the different circumstances have transpired. And it's been the fear of starting a new business. That was something I think that just recently that we kind of went through with separating the firm. So that was a fear in making the change and making sure that it was the right thing to do. So it was definitely a fear there.
So, for those of you who don't know, I was a prosecutor. I started my legal career as a prosecutor. And so, when I opened my own firm, I started doing criminal defense. And so, I've been doing criminal defense longer than I've been doing family law. And we started doing family law roughly 15 years ago or so. And so, starting a new firm and separating those two was a little bit scary because there's the marketing side of it, and how are the criminal clients going to feel, how are the family law clients going to feel. And so, when you have a goal and you're focused on that goal, you have to just stay the course and get through it. But when I tell you, you are going to get knocked on your butt a couple of times in business, and you just have to call the shot and make the decision to do what you think needs to be done to move your business forward.
So what do you think some of the fears were that you had
about separating the firms?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was very daunting thinking about just the administrative part of it. First of all, a separate set of books. Does this mean I have to have two separate staffs? Do I need two separate locations? Like the logistics of it, hiring a separate team. Do I need two receptionists, two bookkeepers? And the expenses that come with all of that. So that was very scary. From an SEO point of view of marketing, is it going to be twice the budget now to have a criminal website and a family law website? So as the CEO of the firm, I take it very seriously that, being responsible for all of our employees and all the decisions you make there. So you do your research and then you just take the shot. But
so those fears helped you better prepare then, would you say?
Well, I think it doesn't make me prepare, but there's only so much preparation you can do. For anybody that tell you it's not a lot of luck involved in it, it is, because you do as much research as you can, but then to some point, it's going to be faith and luck and just, again, depending on yourself to call the shot. I think a lot of the decisions that could move people forward don't, because you simply don't move forward. You just got to call the shot. I mean, I keep saying that, but you just got to make a decision. It's just a choice. Biggest decision you have in life is the ability to choose. So make a choice and move forward in that. And as our coach says all the time, you got to play all in. So you make a decision and then you move forward with that. And that's the same even with our relationships and business. It's not just a firm, but even with us, starting all over was big for me.
In what way?
Well, what way was it big for you? Tell me that first.
What way was it big?
Yes.
I don't think it was necessarily, it was big. It kind of, just starting over when I had met you, had already transitioned. So I don't know that it was you were forced. I don't know if I was forced into it, you would say is the way to go, but it was already happening. It was already in motion. So starting over with you, it felt natural. It felt easy.
But then explain the forced part. When you said it didn't feel forced, what do you mean it did or did not feel forced? That's an interesting word.
Meaning, when I met you, I was already at the decision of this relationship is over. And the way we started our relationship as far as it being platonic and being friends and not really looking for someone, it was easy. I won't say it was forced, but it just came a little bit more naturally.
Well, it was still scary for me. I understand it was a sweet story, and because we were friends and it was platonic, and it went from platonic to
100
friends
miles an
with
hour.
yeah, but it was intended to be friends with benefits. If I'm just being honest, like you're 8 years younger than me, and I was like, yo, you cute. Hey, hey, we can have fun on the weekend, kind of thing. And I was not looking for a relationship. You know that I've said that a
My
thousand
thoughts
times.
weren't that. I
You were looking for a relationship.
wasn't looking for a relationship, but I also wasn't saying "Hey, you gonna be the weekend fling."
Well, I'm being honest. That's what I was thinking. We were gonna just have fun, like we can have fun and we can date casually. But I was out of a. I
A
had
long
been
term
married for
relationship.
13 years. I had 5 kids. The last thing I was looking for was a serious relationship. It wasn't fun on the weekend, but I just wasn't looking to be in something serious. Is what I'm saying.
And
I
I
was
guess for me, I didn't have expectations. I was just going with the flow. So it wasn't a you're gonna be the weekend, you're gonna be the girlfriend. I was just easy going, selling wherever it goes, it goes. But I didn't have a idea of we're gonna go here, we're gonna
But see, I
date this
think that's
amount of
the difference
time.
between me and you too. Like you just your natural tendency in life is just whatever happens, happens. And I'm a little bit more intentional about, or try to be more intentional about what I do. I wanted to take time for myself and not get jump out of a marriage and into a relationship. So I was trying to just have fun, and I enjoyed your company. And so we started out as friends, and it was fun to date, but I really did have a fear of starting over. And as a single mom with children, 3 girls, like it was scary to think about getting into another relationship. I really was just talking about, like, it was, we can date and I'll have fun with you and date because my kids went with the dad on the weekend, so we can have fun on the weekend, literally. We could just date and enjoy ourselves, but I wasn't looking to start a new family. Like, that was,
So what did the week look like?
well, when we started out as friends, the week looked like me going to work, going to school, and taking care of my kids. And then as our relationship developed, then the weekends blurred into the week. But when we started, it was just the weekend. It was just the weekend. I come with you on the weekend, or you come over my house on the weekend. But I'm just saying that's that whole starting over part of it, not just, okay, what were we doing? But I mean, the literal fear of starting over was a serious thing. Like,
So if do you think that if you would have had not if you wouldn't have had children in the house or you
mhm,
didn't have kids, would that have changed that fear?
of starting over.
Hmm.
But I have been somebody's mama since I was
But
16 years old, so I couldn't tell you what that would feel like because I just have never lived that. I've been someone's mom since I was 16 years old. We met when I was 33. Like, I had been somebody's mom longer than I had not been. So to ask me what that would have been like, I can't even fathom, because even before I had children, I was responsible for little brothers and cousins, like literally responsible for them. And so I just have always been a caregiver. So dating in a relationship and wondering and having the fear of what that will be for the little people I'm responsible for, it's just always a fear for me in the beginning. So I just move with a little caution in the beginning, and
I mean, I can
get to
relate
know
to
your
you
character.
saying that when it
Hmm.
comes to my daughter meeting you. Yeah,
Hmm.
there was some reservation. I don't know if it was necessarily. It was a fear, I guess, of her becoming attached to you and then you no longer being there.
I
But a
remember that
fear
conversation.
of starting over, I don't feel like that was there so much. And in your situation, because you were
Mhm.
uh, a parent and you had been a parent so long, the life experience was a little bit different because I kind of assumed we would share custody, but primarily my daughter would be with her mom. So, yes, she did need to know you,
Mhm.
and I didn't want her to get attached too soon, not knowing what the status of the relationship was going to be. But at the same time, I don't know. I'm just saying I didn't necessarily have a fear. Some of it was planned, or I thought about, her. But as far as a fear, I didn't haven't lived long enough at
I
that
don't
point in
think you
time to be
fear a
fair.
lot of things, though. You're just like, be scared. What I'm scared of, you're just gonna jump in and
What's gonna happen is gonna happen.
yeah. And I see it, and I just don't operate that
I
way.
mean, I think about it.
Well, I'm sure, but for me, again, you and your daughter's mom had a kind of off and on relationship, and your daughter was 3, so y'all weren't together 13 years. Like it was a different relationship than when I was in a married, committed relationship. We owned a house. Like it was a lot more. That relationship was a lot more serious than your relationship.
We owned the house.
And so starting over, I understand y'all had bought a house, but I'm just saying y'all wasn't even in the house a whole year.
We wasn't even in 6 months.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying, like, as far as like having a house built and buying a house and going through 13 years is a little different than off and on for 3 years. Not to say it wasn't as serious, because I know y'all were engaged, y'all had a child, and y'all were engaged to get married. So I know it was a serious relationship. I'm not trying to minimize it that way, but I'm just saying maybe it was. I'm just saying for me, maybe it was because I had been in the relationship so long, what it would look like to start over after a decade. You know,
I guess my thing is
and
it's
a
not
primary parent, because that was not a, oh, they gonna live with him and I'm gonna have him on the weekend.
It wasn't, but it wasn't so much a fear. I guess it was just nervous. And nervous. Some people may use nervous and fear interchangeably. It was just the anxiety of what's next to come. How does this work out? But again, it's one of those things. I'm roll with it, and hopefully it turns out for the best if your mind is in the right place. So
if it's not, you better get it together, because it's coming either way. I think that, but that's a good transition too, even when it comes back to pivoting back to business and some of the ups and downs of growing a business. And
yeah, you're a lot more. You got to plan it all the way out. I'm kind of, let's go. We'll figure it out. We'll learn how to fly the plane in the air. Tessie is more of, well, we need to have the map. We need to know the altitude. Matter of fact, I need to take a couple classes. What kind of plane is it going to be? Does it take regular gas or does it take jet fuel?
How am I getting in a plane and don't know?
It makes sense, but look, this is where we're going. Let's go. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's why it takes two
of
birds.
us. It does, because otherwise we'd run out of gas while I'm flying. So I do need you there to help me keep me from hurting me sometimes.
Well, I think that's mutual, but I'm just saying that the fear of running a business and starting over, this was an interesting thing. When I decided to get business coaches and start over, that was a start over. Like, I had been a solo forever, but one part-time employee. And when our youngest daughter graduated high school, I took a job somewhere else. It wasn't a good fit for a couple of months, and then came back, and then I decided I'm going to get a business coach and see what I'm going to do, because this is going to be what I do for the rest of my life. My practice. I'm not going to work for someone else. I like my freedom too much. I like being in control of my finances. I like being in control of just my life, my destiny, how this thing ends. And so this is what we're going to do. So let's get serious. And I got a coach. And that was a complete start over, for real. That's the first time. Before that.
But why'd you get the coach?
Well, listen, I was driving myself crazy running a business, and I was 100%. How does that saying go? The baker, the chief bottle maker, the dishwasher. I was doing all the parts of my business. A lot of times I was the secretary, I was the receptionist, I was the paralegal, I was the billing specialist, I was in charge of marketing. I was all over the place, and I was driving myself crazy and not very efficient at all. But I wanted to develop systems on how to do it better. If this is what I'm going to do, and I'm committed to do it. And I just figured at that time we had 7 kids. And if I had ran the firm at the level I was running it as a solo with 7 children, now that we only have 1 child in the house, I could commit more time to it and make it run smoother. Better.
I mean, we talked about it for a while. It made sense.
Mm-hmm.
We again, Tessie will talk about something, sleep on it, wake up in the middle of the night, talk about it some more, come back to it, talk about it some more, and it was thoroughly talked about. But yeah, you had your fears and concerns, I think, from going there. But it turned out to be a great decision. So,
well, I will tell you, being an entrepreneur is not a joke, because you only eat what you kill. You feel like you wake up every morning hunting, you go to bed every night hunting, and I just wanted to be a little bit more stable and consistent. So hiring experts who knew how to do that was important to me if that's what we're going to do. When you go to law school, they teach you the history of law. They don't even teach you how to practice law. They teach you the history of law, but they don't teach you how to run a business. They don't teach you how to grow a business. You are a lawyer, but you don't have any business acumen. You don't know how to grow and scale a business or any of that. So I decided to get a business coach and really start over in a second kind of career. I have I haven't had a caseload in 2 years. Like I don't handle cases. We have 5 attorneys, very good attorneys, and we work the cases and strategize the cases together. But I'm not the primary attorney on any of the cases. My job as the CEO is to grow and scale and be the visionary for the firm and continue to employ strategies and stuff like that to help grow the business. So
you felt like getting that business coach was like starting over.
it was absolutely like starting. I hired my first employee and developed a business, not just a baby firm, but like benefits. That's what I felt like. I was a big kid now. My team has health benefits and we pay for parking and we have 401k. Like it's a real business. But that took a lot of growth and there was a lot of fear of, can I afford this? Am I going to be able to make payroll? Like it was a lot of fear starting out. How do you do that? How do you start over and redefine yourself?
So
Right.
starting over with the business and I guess starting over in a new relationship, are there things where there's similarities? Did you feel like any of it was the same? Or, okay, I did this in the relationship which was similar to the business and it helped you in any type of way?
The thing that keeps coming to mind when I think about what was similar in starting over in a relationship and similar in starting over in business is literally just making a decision to do it. If I'm when I was in a marriage and I decided I didn't want to be in that marriage, I had to make the decision to leave. When I was dating you, I had to make a decision if I was going to commit to you. And in the business, and I was starting over, it's just literally being at peace with whatever you think and starting over. Um, Starting over, the fear of, okay, hold on, let me back up. The similarities between the two is for me, and I can only speak for me. The similarities between the two is just having enough faith and confidence in myself to do it. That's what I'm trying to say. And in a relationship, am I gonna take a chance on you and be in this relationship with you because I enjoyed your time, fell in love with you? Am I gonna make this decision to be in this relationship with you, or whether it was a business or whatever, and just doing it? And when we got together, and you are just always, whatever you do, girl, I got your back. Let's go, and just having that support. So having just that was the same for me in our relationship and in our business. Whatever came our way, get knocked on our behinds. Can I say ass? I don't know if I can say ass. We get knocked on your ass a lot in growing a business, and sometimes in your relationship too. I mean, take the wind out of you sometimes, and you have to have the strength and the desire to want it. And as long as I want my business to keep growing, I will take those licks, get over the fear, and keep moving. If I'm pissed off with you, I take those licks, learn from it, get up, kiss you, and move on. Kick you, kiss you, either one.
Is that how it works?
No.
So is it something that, is it a switch that happens, or is it just, I'm going to talk about it until I eventually feel comfortable? Is there something that happens that lets you know? Because again, for me, it's, I'll think about it and I will eventually just roll with it, and we're going to see what the consequences are going to be. And I feel like you're a lot more thoughtful, meaning I feel like you're going to talk about something 15 times
Mm-hmm.
and then 15 more times. But there is
Plus
there
25.
is there a point where you notice that there's something that always happens and then you make the decision? Is there some transition that you know, whether it's a feeling or is it
I try to do very little.
I mean, I know that for you it has to make sense. If it doesn't make sense, then you're not going to do it. I guess is at least my experience. If you can't make it, if it doesn't make rational sense, then you're not going to do it. But how do you get to the point of it makes rational sense for you to get over that fear, or get over that concern that you have?
I think I do a lot of things that don't make rational sense.
Like, please
I
tell.
don't.
This is being taped.
I would have to think about it.
Oh, now you got to think
I would
about
have
it.
to think about it, but I don't think everything I do is rational. I think I do a lot of things based on trying to be fair or
Besides the
doing the
slide
right
in the
thing.
house, that was irrational. The slide you put in
Okay.
the house, that would, and I'm sorry, I have ADD moment, so I get off topic. But the slide in the house, that was irrational. I wanted the bathroom, but we'll go back to
Oh,
how do
well,
you
you
get
can't
to
just
the
bring that up. Okay. So we have a 2-story house, and we have, two sets of stairs in the house. And I wanted one of the sets of stairs come down from our son's game room. So I wanted to remove the stairs and put in a tube slide. One at the playground, the big tube slide to come from upstairs to downstairs. It's his playroom. I thought it would be fun, and he loves it. So I think it was a great decision. His friends love it. Our niece, nephew, granddaughter, like everybody likes the slide. I think it's cool. So
I
everybody, you
don't.
can have a bathroom anytime. You can have a bathroom. You can have a bathroom in any house. Like, let's put a slide in. That's such a great memory for him as a child. Like, I don't think that was irrational. I thought about that a lot.
I'm sorry. Again, I have some of those moments, and she'll redirect me from time to time. You guys will notice. But how do we get to this?
You were asking me, do I have to
No, how
think
do we get to
about
this?
things 15 times? It depends on what it is. When it comes to something, there are a lot of things that I just don't care about and just say, Charles, just make a decision. I really don't care. But if it's something serious like a business decision, when I'm making a decision for the firm, I take it serious like I do even with our clients. Like, if it's a serious decision that's going to affect people in a serious way, I take it seriously.
I agree,
All of our employees, okay, 20 employees, I take it very
but
serious
it's
that
quick. I feel like it's a quicker decision. It's not
for the firm.
when you have to make a decision for a client.
Mhm.
I still think that you think it out. It's thought out. When you have to make a decision for the firm, it's never a quick decision from my side.
But
It doesn't seem that way.
here's the difference. If I'm making a decision I don't make a decision for clients, I give them advice. But if I'm giving them advice, it's because I've done that for 15 years. And so I'm giving you advice on custody and parenting plans. I've given this advice so many times over 15 years. So I can come to those options and advice to them a little bit more easily because I've done it repeatedly. I've never owned a $4 or $5 million firm before until now. And so I take a little bit more time to make those decisions because it's a novel decision for me to make now. And next year, when the firm increases and we go to $6.5, $7 million, I'm going to make those decisions very slowly too, because I'm trying to make sure that I'm making these decisions based off of data, that I'm making these decisions in collaboration with our team and the advice and the coaches and so on and so forth, so that they're strong decisions. Now, ask me some decisions about how to get to $1 million firm. I got you. It don't take that long to make those decisions. Been there, done that 3, 4 times over. But if it's a new thing that I'm presented with, I'm gonna take my time and give it a little bit more thought,
So
research, and all that.
so then if it's the fear of moving forward, what would be your advice to get to make the decision whether you're going to stay and move forward,
Mhm.
leave and move forward? What would be your advice in that?
Whether it's a relationship or business, my advice would be the same. I think you first and foremost surround yourself with positive people that have the same energy and want what you want. If it's a relationship and I'm thinking about starting over, as a woman, my sisterhood is really strong to me. I talk to my girlfriends, talk to my adult daughters, talk to whoever, the women in my life, and some men too, to be quite honest, when I think about it. Talk to the people that I lean on for my emotional support as I'm coming to this decision. At the end of the day, I'm the one that have to live with the decision, so I'm going to be well within myself. This is what I want to do. Be sure this is what I want to do, but I'm going to make sure that I have thought it through before I do it. Same decision when it comes to business. I'm going to think it through, and I'm going to educate myself. Right now, we're doing a lot of things with scaling the firm, and so there's a lot of changes with marketing. But and you know this personally, I sleep, eat, wake up, marketing. I listen to every book I can listen to. I'm listening to, the audio, the coaches. I employ experts to assist. And so I try to educate myself as much as I can, like submerge myself. It's not a 9 to 5 thing. So I'm really all in
But
before I make the decision.
I guess lastly with that question, does it help you to visualize what that decision looks like? Does that help you to do you do that where
It's
you
always a
say
vision first. Always. Always. I see where we're going with this firm 5 years from now. I see it as clearly as I see you right now.
so a relationship the same thing?
Oh yeah. I'm
So
a guy,
you
Miss Edwards.
so you can see that outcome of what it's going to be, or although you may not know who the person is or what that relationship looks like, you have an idea of the mystical person or the mystical relationship, how that's going to look.
Yes. I have I what I can't see in our relationship. I can't tell you where we will live. I can't tell you what the house will look like, what we'll drive, what the furniture looks like. All I know, and I'm not even trying to be sappy, all I know is we're going to be together. Whether it's in Georgia, Venezuela, Europe, wherever it's going to be, I know we will be together and we will be okay. The whole business could fall down around us. We will be okay. I see that clearly.
I believe that. I believe that to be true.
But when it comes to the business, the same thing. I visualize where I want it to be. And it's not just a vision. I definitely have the vision clearly.
So you speak to the universe?
Often. Ray, you're smiling because you know I do. I speak to the universe. I listen, meditate, claim it, the laws of the universe, laws of polarity, all of that. The books, some excellent books, But I have faith in it. I visualize it, I have faith in it, and then you move forward. But faith without work is nothing. So you have faith, you do the books, you believe, but then you have to do the work.
So that being said, we visualize it, come up with a plan, and move forward and make sure that we keep pushing to get there. And I feel like I have a person that helps me stay on track when I cannot.
It is like herding fish in the ocean.
And sometimes it's like moving a rock that weighs 1,000 pounds.
Or sometimes two. But I'm curious, what do you think? For you, I know you said it's not, you just kind of go with the flow. But when you just go with the flow, so you have no fear about making changes or moving forward in the firm at all.
I mean, I have a fear.
What is your fear?
The fears are sometimes just coming up short. I think everybody has that, but at the same time, with that fear, and I guess playing sports, I'm gonna give it my all, and it's gonna work out the way that it's supposed to. And if I feel like that I'm giving it 100%, it's gonna work out the way that it was supposed to. And sometimes I think what I've learned is, although things in life show up as, you may think it's a failure, it was actually a lesson to get you to the next place. And you had to go through that failure in order to move to that next pillar of success. So that being said, I'm gonna roll with it. This is what's gonna happen. And sometimes it's a good decision. Sometimes it doesn't initially it seems like a bad decision, but there's something that I learned from that. So when you ask me the fears, they're going to come up, and I'm not going to focus on them because they're going to show up. Now we need to pivot and roll.
You know what? That's a good point. I was thinking about one time in one of our lessons at one of our coaching sessions, we were talking about imposter syndrome, and I have imposter syndrome bad. As a teen mom, a high school dropout, just growing up not in this world at all, I often feel very misplaced, like, okay, everybody's going to be smarter than me. They're going to know more than me. I'm going to fail. But if this happened, and that's probably why I try so hard and give it everything that I have to make sure that I'm building a strong foundation for the firm so that we don't fail, you know. But do you ever have issues with imposter syndrome?
Nah, that's a little too deep for me. No, I feel like I'm Charles every day. Some days, I might get a little bit thrown off track, but imposter, no, I'm me.
I see. For me, it's not even about me being me. And I say that all the time. I'm gonna be me. There's nobody else better qualified to be me than me. But do you ever feel like the job in front of you is bigger than what you're ready to do?
No, no, no. I feel like it again. I feel like, ooh, just don't make too many mistakes or just don't mess up that bad, and you'll figure it out. So it's. Do I feel like it's that big? If somebody gave it to me, or I'm here. It's here for a reason. So hopefully, I don't mess up too bad while I'm figuring it out. But no, I don't feel that way. I know I'm going to make mistakes. I'm just the fear of hoping that the mistake doesn't hurt anybody or put my family in a bad situation. But no,
So what would be your best advice on moving forward in a relationship, starting over? If someone has a fear of starting over in a relationship, what would be your best advice? One thing.
to plan, to to make the decision, rip the scab off, and be ready for what's to come. It there.
But how do they get ready for what's to come?
You don't. My thing is to make the move and do it. There are gonna be some shortfalls. What always gets me through is there are many other people that have went through this before me. They're not dead. They're not living under a bridge somewhere. They made it through. They were able to go through whatever this situation was and come out on top. I may not know them, but I know my situation isn't the one in however many millions of people it is in the world. They made it through. So that's what I visualize. Somebody else did this. There are many men that started over and they met the person that they felt like they were meant to be with. They ended up starting over with a new career. They blended families. They transitioned into raising their kids in the not the scenario that they had first envisioned. So that's my best advice is to just do it. There's a whole bunch of people that's been through the same thing that you have and they're okay. You're going to be okay. And that's what I tell myself. I'm going to be okay.
What about in a
Yeah, okay.
what about in business? If they're starting over with their business or career, what do you think about that?
Talk to your wife a lot.
What if they're not married?
Talk to your mama, your sister, talk to your family member, at least get a mentor, somebody that's been through the situation and run some of those ideas with them and just move forward.
I think my best advice for starting over in a
Don't be
relationship.
scared of failure.
Yeah, yeah. I think failure is generally a short term thing. Failure is very very short lived. It's not even failure. It's a lesson, and it's only failure if you stop trying. So don't look at failure or starting over as a permanent sentence. It's more of a temporary thing. It's not even a failure. It's literally just a pivot. I love to say step left and move forward. Everybody who knows me hear me say that 1,000 times. But you have to learn how to step left and move forward because you're going to have obstacles. I don't care how long. If you're in a relationship longer than that honeymoon period of 3 or 4 months, you're going to have ups and downs. If you're in a business, especially a business that's thriving or growing, you're going to anybody that tell you it's been easy and it came easy, they are, in my opinion, not being transparent about the difficulties of owning a business or being a small business owner. You're going to get knocked on your butt, not when, it's a matter of how often, because it's going to happen often. It's just how you bounce back from it, the same way in a relationship and business. And I think in a lot of ways, you have to manage your relationship the way that you manage your business and make sure that you tend to it and take care of it and do all of these things so that you can bounce back. Move left and go forward. Same principle in business, same principle in marriage. You have an obstacle. What's the best solution? Listen to all the collaborative options, and then you make the best decision for the situation. Step left, move forward.
And I think in ending on that, progress often shows up as obstacles. That's how you know you're moving in the right way.
Yeah. So when you have that fear, a lot of times it's a opportunity. It's a problem that presents an opportunity. So the fear that's in front of you will often pivot into something great. You lose a job, you get a better job. A relationship ends, then you find the love of your life. So, again, that don't be afraid of starting over. It is that new beginning, like kind of like after a fire. The forest fires, think of the California fires. Them forests burn down to the ground, burn down to the ground, and then come back a year or two later, and they're all beautiful trees, and the ground has replenished itself, the earth has healed itself, and you have all these beautiful leaves and flowers, just like the spring after every winter. So again, just think of it as a short. What is the lesson? What is the lesson I'm supposed to learn? And then start over. Just do it. Like you said, you're not gonna probably not gonna die from it. It might hurt a little bit. You got a handful of tears. Choose them wisely. So that's my advice on the fear of starting over.
Hey, fellas, it's Charles again with TDE, Family Law and Divorce Attorneys. I just wanted to give you a little bit of information, tell you what we're here to do, but I understand that you're probably looking at this because you're going through some type of situation that we can assist you with, whether it's your baby mom, whether it's your soon-to-be ex-wife, whether it may be just a parenting thing that you're going to help another family member with out. It's trying, it's stressful. This is a marathon, not a sprint, so nothing's going to happen quickly. The other thing that I want to point out to you is we're here as a resource. Whether you watch our social media ads, whether you tune into our podcast, you can like and subscribe, but hopefully from watching this, there's going to be more information that you can get. One way that you can get one of those resources is just by calling our office. We have people that are there to answer the phones, and they may be able to point you in the right direction. I know that you may have friends or buddies that have went through the court system and you're like, I'm absolutely against child support, but your child may be used as a pawn, or maybe your kindness is being taken as hostage. I'm here to tell you that me and our group of attorneys with a greatly skilled team are here to help you. Look us up on the website, and then from there you can schedule a call. Yes, sometimes these things can be expensive, but anything that you feel is worth it, you always find a way. And if you find your way to our law firm, we are here to help you through.